Hello PEI, welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we're setting our sights on Stratford. There's definitely a lot of buzz, excitement around future plans and growth there. Think of this deep dive as your inside look at the ideas and, well, the big visions shaping Stratford's future.
Mm-hmm. And, we have to give a big shout out here. Our friend Mike Montague from Remax Charlottetown, he actually pointed us towards these resources, said they were really important. And Stratford is a really interesting spot right now. It's been growing incredibly quickly.
You mentioned that, yeah, like one of the fastest growing places in Atlantic Canada.
That's what the data shows. It's quite remarkable.
Wow. So that's a lot of new people, a lot of energy. But naturally, that kind of speed brings challenges, right? Especially, I imagine, around housing.
Exactly. Making sure there's enough housing, yeah. But also that it's the right kind of housing for everyone who calls Stratford home. Or wants to.
Right. Is it just single-family homes or apartments or?
Well, that's the question they're tackling. And the research shows they're not just reacting. They seem to be getting out ahead of it proactively.
Okay.
Which is where things like the Shape Stratford initiative come into the picture.
Ah, Shape Stratford.
At its core, Shape Stratford was really about sparking community conversations, important ones.
About housing specifically.
Yes, mainly about the different housing needs in town, what makes meeting those needs tricky, the challenges, and exploring practical solutions together.
So getting everyone on the same page, or at least talking.
Pretty much. The end goal being housing that's, safe, that works for different kinds of households, and is crucially affordable or accessible.
Okay, so moving beyond just identifying the problem to actually involving the community. Okay, so a lot of talking, a lot of learning. What actually came out of Shape Stratford? What was the result?
It seems it gave the decision makers, like the town council, a much clearer picture, more data-driven.
Clearer how?
Well, understanding the actual housing needs.
Yeah.
Moving past just gut feelings to figures on, how many units are needed for the future, but also what kind of units, different sizes, types, affordability levels.
So a much sharper focus on what success looks like for housing in Stratford.
Precisely. And it wasn't just a one-time thing. The research indicates that the tools and the platform they built, like Build Your Town, are now part of the town's regular planning toolkit.
That's good integration.
Yeah.
So for you listening, if you're in Stratford, what's the main takeaway from Shape Stratford?
I think it really highlights that the town is making a conscious effort to ensure your voice, your perspective, is heard and considered in planning. It's about building the future with the community.
That foundation, understanding what the community needs, seems crucial when you look at some of the bigger potential projects. Which brings us to the Crossroads development.
Right, the proposal from the Gray Group.
They're a local company, right?
Yeah.
The research mentioned their connection to Stratford.
Yes, deep roots there. They consider it home base.
And this Crossroads plan is, well, it's ambitious. We're talking a 15 to 20-year timeline.
That's the projection, yeah. On a pretty large piece of land over 100 acres bought back in 2018.
And the vision isn't just houses, is it?
No, not at all. It's designed as a comprehensive mixed-use community. So yes, residential, but also commercial space, and even some light industrial.
The numbers are pretty staggering. Something like 3,200 residential units proposed.
That's the estimate, yes. Plus around 260,000 square feet of commercial and about 44,000 square feet for light industrial use. It's a significant scale.
It would definitely reshape that part of town over time.
For sure.
The overall tone from the research felt quite optimistic, that these efforts could lead to more diverse housing and meet a wider range of needs.
Yeah, the hope is clearly to build a future for Stratford that's vibrant, sustainable, and welcoming for everyone.
It's certainly a compelling vision they're working toward.
It is. Lots of moving parts.
So, thinking about that long time frame, 15, 20 years for the Crossroads and the ongoing engagement tools from Shape Stratford, here's something to chew on, a provocative thought for you.
Okay.
What role will the new residents, the people who moved to Stratford over those years, play in shaping how these plans actually evolve? As the community itself changes, how will their input continue to steer things?
That's a really interesting question. The vision is set now, but its implementation will happen within a growing, changing community. How does that feedback loop continue?
Something to think about, for sure. The story is definitely still being written.
Absolutely.
All right, that brings us to the end of this deep dive into Stratford's plans for growth and development. We hope it's given you some valuable insights.
Yeah, a glimpse into one community's proactive approach.
And one last very important thank you to Mike Montague for the fantastic research that powered our discussion today.
Indeed. Maybe reflect on what aspects of Stratford's approach stand out most to you.
Until next time on The Deep